Hello, everyone, and welcome
Hello.
back. Hello, they kiss on the air live right now on the DJ Sessions. Welcome back to another episode of the DJ Sessions, where we feature the best DJs, producers, and electronic music professionals from around the world. I'm your host, Darren, and right now I'm sitting in the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington, and coming in. You know what? I forgot to ask them pre-show where they're coming in from. I'm going to say maybe LA.
Yes.
I memorized that off your bio. Coming in all the way from LA, we have They Kiss, Cash and Anna. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well,
Thank you for having me.
it's a pleasure having you here. I want to let you know I listened to your latest album all the way through during my research. Yeah,
cool.
I put it on Spotify, and I had to log out of all my accounts today, so I was trying to log into Spotify. It wouldn't let me play it. I was registered and logged in. And I was like, I thought I did this. So I was like trying to get accounts. I was getting a little frustrated. But when I did, it completely changed my mood and my mindset. It really made me feel awesome. I don't think there was one track that I could say was my favorite because the whole dang album was my favorite.
Thank you.
It was great. It really put me in a great mood. Tell us about the title of that album and what's the meaning or concept behind the album. You just released this on August 26th, correct?
Yeah, we're like a week. I think I don't know. It's been very weird out here because the weather's been crazy and then the holiday. So last week we've been slammed. So, losing track of time. But yeah, August 26th, I guess, was a little over a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
So first question was, what's behind the title or what's behind?
Yeah. So I guess is there a concept behind the album, a message that you're trying to push with this album here, or is it what was your desire for pushing this album, making this album?
Well, we got together and initially Anna wanted to introduce me to a guitar player friend of hers. Because I had an album out before that I was just releasing an album, and I sent her the, a few tracks, and she's like, "Oh, I have to introduce you to this guitar player. He's so great." So, we all met, and then one day, like, Anna and I just started making music together, and we started building this, and then pandemic happened, and we went to New York. And we set up like a makeshift studio at my brother-in-law's house and kind of wrote a lot of these tracks, obviously we wrote basically the whole album during the pandemic, apart from like one song prior. But
and the album called basically Feeling With You. And in the album, you can hear lots of different, it's not one mood. It's very it's almost the same mood. You can definitely listen through, but there's like still different moods. Like song Kisses was, for example, song Kisses was written during quarantine, and it's about like lovers that basically just kind of moving apart from each other, and they like, oh, I miss the time with you, and like what happened to us, because that what happened a lot of time, like during quarantine. There's couples were breaking up or getting closer together,
or they were separated just because people were stuck indoors,
and they just like the pressure was high. But then it's like really different. Like the song that called Feeling With You, it's opposite. It's fun, it's dancey, it makes you feel good also. So just the whole album, I say that it definitely has different like atmosphere to it. Or This Life Is Real is very edgy, but also because we collaborated with different people, and actually like different people from around the world. I would say like This Life Is Real was written with there's a band in UK called Halos, and we wrote it with those guys. With Arthur
Delaney.
Yeah, and then like there's like a bunch. It's definitely a journey. The album's a journey, and the last song was like Cosmic Kiss. I don't sing there, but it was the last song. We just the idea was like a year old, but we literally made it like in 2 days, just because we wanted to be like, this has to be on the album. It's very, I don't know.
And we were replacing a track also that that I just wasn't. We just couldn't get it. Like I wasn't happy with the drums, and I'm like, okay, wait, dude, we have a deadline. That's it.
Yeah.
And and then we gave Cosmic Kiss to our friends from Zero Fate, who is right now they've been in Bali for the last 6 to 7 months or so, and we represent them also with the record label, Cash NYC Records. So and actually Mikolai, who's in that group, he co-produced a lot of the album with us. So it was a very, I would say, easy transition to go, because he's going more into like house, minimal house. And so
yeah, definitely lots of collaborations on this album, but we stick to what we like. We like synths, we like
love
some
synths.
edge, we love we love to explore the sound, definitely. And this is what the Kiss album about.
Yeah, if that makes sense.
Totally makes sense. And I do want to get into a viewer question. It was asked just a few moments ago, because I should have asked this question first, but I love it when viewers do it. I'll drop it in here.
Mm-hmm.
Where does your artist name come from? I read the bios, but for our viewers, they don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So when we started the band, literally we were trying to figure out a name. I had a few stupid names that were, totally not good for now, and it just didn't speak about us. And then I was talking to my friend who's she's got a lot of great ideas, and Anna and I had started dating. So she's like, well, you guys play together and then you kiss, so why don't you just call it They Kiss? And we're like, okay, this makes perfect sense. So
yeah, we like the name. It was not like heavy, it was not like putting you, and it's very, I don't know, it's like almost like global, because people kiss, they kiss, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't put you in a box. It's just it's a great name. We definitely, like, right now have some issues with that name.
Oh yeah, we are I applied for a trademark like over a year ago, maybe close to 2, basically, once we came up with the name before we released anything. And we were granted the trademark by the government, but then we got opposed by Kiss's lawyer. So he said that we were interfering with their intellectual property of
just because
Kiss.
we have the special word Kiss. Now we have to, like, it's a little, like,
it's a little crazy. So we're fighting it, and I've got a lawyer that's kind of
good for you.
Well, it's a little ridiculous because, like, it's, I understand Kiss as a rock band, but they're like, what, four people in tons of makeup, and they're like,
obviously
heavy metal. I mean, we're totally different.
They just do it. Lawyers just do the
lawyers
job,
do it for the money,
But this was that we face in it, and
it's not fun.
We love the name. We're going to be
I like how you were starting to differentiate the differences between Kiss and They Kiss. And a question also popped up here from, I hope I get this right, Sella Tent P. If you could describe your music in 3 words, what would you call it?
The music?
Yeah, because I definitely wasn't. To me, it wasn't. I grew up listening to Kiss. My brothers listened to Kiss.
So did I. Yeah.
From anything of while you were crossing over with when I was just listening to Feeling with You. So how would you describe your music in 3 words?
Love.
What kind of words?
Like happiness.
Journey.
I don't like life. I don't know. That's too bold, but I don't know. I mean, genre wise or just like words?
I guess just how you would describe it. Like, it's totally up to you two how you would want to choose the 3 words that mean that you'd want to use.
No more words. I don't
know. Like I heard your words. Okay. Like, I would say it's a journey. It's experience. It's a feeling. Yeah, I would describe these 3 words.
Energy.
Those all work.
Okay, that's like 6 or 7 words. Yeah.
So we'll start with we'll take this on each one of you. We'll start Cash, you first, and Hannah, you second. What was your strongest motivation to pursue a career in music?
I've been hooked on music since I was like 10 years old. I started hooking up like anything in my house together. I started as a DJ. So I literally was hooking up cassette players to VCRs to CD players to vinyl all together and making like mixes and then like sampling audio clips from like TV shows and like things like that. Um, I really came from like a New York kind of hip hop background. Like that was my first love, was like 90s hip hop, old school hip hop. But my parents, my dad was like big on the scene in the 70s in New York, like kind of the disco scene. They had a lot of just different tastes, Motown and rock. So I grew up with like tons of different vinyls from all genres. So when I was 17, I actually was out one night with my older brother and at my friend's club. The DJ didn't show up. The owner was DJing. He goes, "Hey, this is my little brother. Actually, he's a great DJ. Will you know?" He's like, "Okay, play for an hour." I'm like, "Okay." So I did that. It went on. He kept on coming back. You know, you want to play another hour? Then it was like, you want to come back next Friday? I was 17 years old in high school, and that changed the whole trajectory of my life. And literally ended up DJing, like go to school during the week, Friday, Saturday, DJing in nightclubs, wasn't allowed in, but you know, had a fake passport. So it was or an expired passport. But back then in New York, it didn't matter. Then just moved forward. And after during university, I did the same thing. After that, I got a lot more serious and ended up doing a lot of film festivals and the music festivals and a lot of events. So would travel all over. Spent a lot of time in south of France for Cannes Film Festival, Monaco Grand Prix, like you name it, Sundance, all these different places, you know, kind of scattered about. So
you were a DJ on a film circuit tour, kind of?
Well, yeah, like basically whenever there was like film festival or music festival, I would end up getting booked. So like I did Cannes Film Festival like 10 years in a row, which was like torture. It was amazing, but by the end of each festival, you're like dying, you know, and it's just like, you know, 9 nights straight. Then like South by Southwest, I would do actually the film division and some of the tech division of South by Southwest. So that was a lot of fun because I just ended up doing all these movie parties. Like, I guess even like one year we did like the Steve Jobs premiere, which with Ashton Kutcher, like Charlie Country, like a bunch of things with a lot of different, a lot of great movies that were coming out that year. And then Coachella, and I ended up doing a lot of stuff with Guns N' Roses. So even just slightly before Guns N' Roses formed the full band, the original band back, Axl had his like kind of, you know, day players or whatever they were before that. And my friend in New York, who I worked for, Nirkan, owned all these great venues like Rose Bar, Electric Room, Don Hills. And so we used to end up throwing the parties for Axl after their shows. So then we just kind of ended up, you know, doing a thing for when they did their Coachella, which was insane. Their first time back, we ended up doing their crazy after party that went till like 9 a.m. It was amazing.
Wow.
So and then I actually just ended up leaving New York and moving to LA, and you know, kind of did the same thing here. And and then met Anna, and you know, the rest is history.
And Anna, what is your strongest motivation to you're pursuing a career in music? What got you into all this?
You know, when I was 9, I wrote my first song, and I started kind of expressing myself in writing and poems, actually poems first and songs. And then I was in music school when I was a kid, and then I would say I had like, after finishing school, I definitely had a breakthrough. But I already was just like always like with musicians. It was like always like from like 14 years old. And then I moved to California when I was like 22. And I moved with my musician friends, and we started like an indie pop rock band. And We had like it was a fun journey in San Francisco, and we started growing like as a band, and we start like headlining like Great American Music Hall and Slims, and we started like getting like bigger venues, and then we moved to LA and we broke up as a band. But I know those guys from my previous band since I was 14 years old. I grew up with them, so they're still my best friend. And then we like one of them like works with Kanye now, another one is a guitar player, and it's like, so we still collaborating right now. In the Kiss, you can hear those guys. You see, we still together doing things. But now it's just two main things, me and Francesca, because we are the what's it called, the power, and like we have ideas, and we
kind of just are like, all right, guys, we got this song. Come here, and we record the guitar. We come here and do this.
Both of us, we know like producers. We know exactly what we want. We know how it should sound like, and me and him, we have like. We came from two different worlds, but somehow we definitely have, we understand each other. You know, sometimes you can grow up like at the same place, and you completely don't understand each other. So we are not that. We understand each other.
Yeah, you know? we like kind of understood each other from like day one, which was
and
really bizarre.
And I'm very supportive also. Like I support him because I know who he is, and he supports me right away. So that's always, it's a good, it helps, you know.
I always love it when our guests on the show don't know what question I'm going to ask next, because I don't send questions beforehand. Yeah. And what you both kind of just said right there was that you both influence each other.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And the next question I was going to ask, and this would go to Anna first, is who has been your biggest influence when it comes to your career as an artist, and why?
You know, I'll tell you who I listen to. But I can't say that I had like, I don't know, you know, like there's like some people who can like be like a fan of some. I mean, I definitely had a moment when I was actually a fan of Oasis band, but like but I still, it was not like a fan. I was never like, I never made like music like this or anything like this. Inspiration usually in music comes for me through like emotions or a feeling, or I can definitely get inspired when I see big bands like on big stages, but not specific like because I see them still as people. I kind of understand that, you know. I don't have this kind of like, I don't make
like
those
hero heroes. Worship.
I don't know. Yeah, like it just never happened to me. But when I was growing up, I think I was growing up on more. There was time electronic music. Maybe there's like time. No one knows this band, but it's called Kosheen. It's
Kosheen. I know Kosheen.
You know, so no one knows. Literally, when they always speak about it, no one knows.
I think the song was "Wherever I Will Be."
Yes, exactly.
I think that's the one, isn't it?
Yeah, this one is like Heidi. There's like they have.
I think I have like 4 different remixes of that song.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like it's just like when I was like at that time, my sister's husband, like they were like, I don't know how old, like maybe like 25, and he was going on festivals somewhere in Europe, and I heard it, and it's changed my life completely. Mm-hmm. But I love the Oasis band. I love like rock and roll, like Rolling Stones, but definitely like Chemical Brothers. There's like a lot of like this kind of like not edgy, but like kind of like
that was like big beat.
Yeah,
Chemical Brothers, I guess, was like considered like big beat electronic.
Like, it was just really like fun. But then again, like I can listen to like, I don't know, any music now. Like I love Sade. Like Sade. Like I love her so much, you know. Like I can listen to. Or now I listen to like jazz every day. I just pull it on. You know, it's like really depends. But I guess we're growing up again. Like Nirvana was huge when we were like 15 years old. Like totally. It was like, yeah. That was kind of mine.
And Cash, how about you? Your biggest influence?
Well, you know, it's hard because like I almost feel like I live in 2 worlds, whether it's like the DJ world or, you know, the music world. So it's like, and then even within, you know, making music world, it's different. DJ world, I would say, obviously like Grandmaster Flash, like the original guys, you know, like I love that concept of bending genres. And then also when I was younger, like when we on the East Coast, we saw like DJ AM play like at one night, and I was like, whoa, like it was crazy because I was doing something similar, but not the way he was doing it, and I was just like, oh, that's interesting. So he was kind of like a big influence as far as DJing, seeing like how you could push the barriers of genres and mix everything and make everything sound tasteful and be party still and all that stuff. As far as like music, my first album I made myself was like a full-on rock album, and it had a little bit of like electronic twist to it, which I liked. I feel like it could have just been a straight up rock album because the drums are really pulsing. So for that, I mean, really, there was like Billy Idol, Bowie, Nirvana, who else? I mean, a little bit of Beatles. I mean, Brian Wilson, definitely as a musician, he's my hero. I got to see him like 2 years ago at the Bowl, which was amazing, and actually ended up kind of getting to know Billy Idol a bit because he's dating one of my best friends. So it's, you kind of get to meet your heroes at a certain point and stuff. And like Brian, he ended up playing with Billy. So I got to like say hello to Brian, and I was like, it was a trip, and so yeah,
which is very, very interesting, to be honest. That's why it's like they kiss, the sound and everything. It's very interesting because like he came like from this background, like old school, and like this, like I don't know, like completely different than I am. And I'm always, even right now, I'm always bringing something new. I'm always like, look at this band, like super, super new. Yeah. And then like, and they either blow up or something like this, And he always has background of real history, real big musicians, and that's why I think it's really interesting combination, between like two of us, even what we can bring to the music.
Well, even like when I was like a big portion, I was like DJing in the mid 2000s in New York, which was like a huge rock, like, and like electronic scene. So it's like we're doing stuff with like LCD Sound System and like, I mean, it was. And the Strokes were so big, and like, we'd go to my friend's show, and like Julian Casablancas would be there hanging out with us and stuff. So it was like, I luckily like had this time period in New York that is so special. And I mean, hopefully something similar comes back to that, because there was just, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, it was all pre cell phone cameras and Instagram. So, people cut loose a little bit more. So
yeah,
I don't know if we're going to get back there, or if we're going to invent some app to block all cameras when you walk into the club. Or
actually, Apple had a patent out on infrared technology that when you would point your camera, if you put the infrared blockers at the stage, you pull your camera up and it would say, "Sorry, you cannot record this direction."
Oh my god!
Wow, Jack White will be so happy.
It's there, and I've heard of some parties. There were some parties here in Seattle where they actually take your cell phone at the door. Put it in a plastic bag, and you come in, and then it's just all about the party, and those are kind of a hit. I think those could be pretty big. I think they've done some bigger things. I remember going back in the day to a Prince show here, and there were obviously no recording, no flash photography, no and it's like, but there weren't. This is 1990. Gosh, was I even 21 yet? Mm-hmm. I might have just turned 21, 22-ish. Maybe, like 96, 97, somewhere around there, late 90s. And you're like, what kind of cameras are people bringing in? I mean, if you're going to bring in your little, I'm probably going to date myself here, but do you remember what a 110 camera is?
Was it like the thin?
Yeah, the thin one, like the bar.
Yeah, and sometimes you could you'd flip the flash.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, totally.
I mean, those are the best, or maybe the disc cameras. I remember my mom had one of those when we went to Hawaii. My dad got it for her. It was a disc camera, and it was all like automated. It was really, I don't know. I was born in 74. So
okay. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of technology go like this.
Yeah.
But that being said, what has been the best business partnership / deal you've ever made as They Kiss?
Deal between us, between someone else?
Oh, deal, like a business deal, like a business arrangement. Like if you could say the moment we partnered with so and so, or the moment we.
Oh, okay. I mean, we did this track with Julian Lennon, and that was awesome. Jules is a good friend of mine and stuff. And then there was this song from his last album, Everything Changes, and the melody just got stuck in my head. And then I was like, Jules, can I like attempt to remix this or do something with this? And yeah, and we ended up, adding like kind of more, I don't know what, not hip hop beat, but like, yeah, a little bit of hip hop beat, a little bit of like a big beat under it. And, Anna sang on with this girl Sandflower, who did these rap verses on it, but almost like R&B raps. So she rapped and then sang and vocalized. And, yeah, we did that track. That was, I don't know. We liked, that was a good,
I can say
business
most
deal.
of the business deals we make ourselves.
Oh,
We,
the movie.
oh, that was good. Yeah.
Okay, forgot about that. So we did music for this film, The Gateway, and it stars Olivia Munn, Frank Grillo, Shea Wiggum, and Bruce Dern. And it started off where they asked us to, oh, could you make a song like this? Oh, they heard the first version of Radio, which is on the album, and they're like, oh, can we use this? And we're like, sure. Like, so we did that, and then they're like, hey, do you guys want to do, something else kind of like this, similar? So we ended up calling up Yoga, our friend who's a guitar player, and we all wrote this beautiful kind of intro song, which ended up being like kind of the main theme song for the film. So it played like 5 times in the movie. Then we ended up writing another 2 songs that were like for Frank Grillo's bar scenes. And I think that was amazing, because like I think it was only about a little over a year ago did we actually go to the premiere in Los Angeles and get on the red carpet. And it was super cool. It was an amazing experience, especially like hearing our music on the big screen and just like being a part of it. And actually, like, even more so is seeing how many people Shazam that Enter the Gateway song. Because I'm like, okay, I know you're watching the movie, and that's super cool that they're like watching the film and enjoying that song and just Shazamming it.
It's true, because we didn't promote it. It's not on the album. We didn't.
Yeah, we didn't promote it.
Just like
nothing
for the movie.
It's just like living there. It's on Spotify, but we never promoted that. And we have like 4 or 5 songs in that.
Wow, congratulations on that. When you two get on stage, do you become different people when you're on stage, or you're different people when you're off stage? Is there a persona with They Kiss, or are you always the same on and off stage?
Like for me, I'm the same, but recently someone told me like, oh, Anna, like you, like, what is it? Your alter ego? You're a completely different person. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe like this is what you like. This is how you are on stage and stuff. And for me, I didn't understand why they're saying this really, because for me, I'm the same. I'm just really more calm in the real life, I would say, than on stage. On stage, maybe it is like translates to different people different ways. I don't know, but definitely, I just heard this comment, like some people like told me that oh, like, what is
that's right. The other day, or when we had our last show at Harvard and Stone.
Oh, and that too, yeah. So people sometimes say that. I'm not quite sure why they say that, but like they probably see me through different lenses, like.
Well, because also Anna, apart from being music producer, Anna has jumped into commercial and then photography and
I'm a producer,
video, like a film.
Yeah, I'm also a producer, and
so maybe other things. They see her as this person who's taking care of everything, making the production go smoothly, and then they see her on stage and they're like, wait, what? This is the same person. So I think that
could be,
yeah. I mean, and for me, I don't know.
I think he's the same.
I'm the same. I just.
Do you two ever still get nervous before a performance?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
you know, there's always like a first few minutes where you're like,
also, yeah, first you
I'm gonna
definitely
mess this up.
you're always in like, and then like our mind is like, because for me it's like the more I think, if I think something on the stage, if I think about like equipment or anything like this, it's I can forget the words, like, because I can't think, like this is I have to just like go and like enjoy it, and this is my hardest thing. But definitely, but again, the other show, someone, like I was like talking to someone until I like went to the stage, and they're like, are you not nervous? Don't you need a minute? Don't you? And I was just like casually talking about some other things to them, and then just like walked on the stage, and then like and they were like, are you like, how are you, like what, like you're not, like, I'm like, no, I'm nervous, but also I had like a bad sound check, and in my head I already like, this is going to be horrible. And then it's turned out to be amazing. It's it's also another thing. Sometimes it's just, I still don't understand how it works. Sometimes you think it's going to be amazing and it's like not. And sometimes you think it's going to be like a shit show and it's turned out to be great. I don't understand, but I think the key here, don't expect, kind of do your work and enjoy. Just enjoy,
You just got to do the best you can, and that's it. Just get up there, put yourself out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to, like, before big like DJ gigs, even I used to have this like rush where I'd be like, okay, like, okay, what am I, and even sometimes I used to get this feeling like for the first 10 minutes of playing, I'd be like, okay, am I doing well? I don't know.
Yeah.
But then that all vanished because I'm like, I come to reason and I'm like, you've been doing this for 21 years. Like, you get paid to do this consistently. Like, don't, like,
and that's a good thing, because sometimes it's like last time too, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the words I'm trying to sing, and he tells me, you wrote these words.
Yeah.
They're like, you wrote them. I'm like, and it's kind of calmed me down. I'm like, dude, what I'm tripping about?
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing.
It's like, I heard it a million times. Like, so don't overthink.
Yeah. Anna, we wrote this. Like, okay, maybe we forget for a second, but once you like see one cue, you're like, oh yeah, okay.
If you two could host an event of your own without any limitations, what 5 things would you have at that event?
Event. This is a really unique
serious question. Yeah, I've never thought about
by
that.
the way. What kind, like, event? What kind of event would it be?
I mean, it would be a music event, obviously. I mean, it would be on the beach. Okay. In my head, it'd be on the beach, outdoor, nighttime, crazy lighting, like sick visuals. Like, a big thing about us when we play, like, I really want to get our lighting like awesome. Like, so far we've been doing it ourselves, and like we're excited to actually have a lighting tech at some point to really do it. But definitely, because we want this to be a party. Like, we want the shows to be a party, even though there might be some like slower tempo tracks or some moody tracks. Like, we want the overall feeling to just give people happiness and like let them be free and dance and just like groove to it, So definitely. What else? Alcohol at the party was.
I don't know, like, because every time I think if I would host an event, I definitely would spend time to think, what can I give? But I guess it's like, since we're musicians, we obviously will need to give an experience, and again, like, do the best show possibly can.
Some special guests. Would love to have special guest performances up there.
I don't know, some kind of interaction with people, I think would be good, because like, I also like sometimes like stage and the people and far away, it's like whatever makes sense just to connect more, like kind of like, I would definitely think about this more, you know what I mean, just so we all have really unique experience. Maybe we would have a show very, I don't know, in a unique place, I don't know, something interesting, something very different.
I think that covers 5 things.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to switch it up into a little bit more production here. I'm going to take a question from the audience. Hope I get this right. V. Filigrew, if you had to pick one of your productions as your most favorite one, which one would that be? And is there a thought behind it for it to be your favorite? I guess this could be production, tracks, album. You know, which one would that be and why?
Wow, what song?
I know a song, Cosmic Kiss, because we did it in 2 days. Everything else takes like years.
Oh yeah, I mean, she's got a point there as far as like the frustration with making certain songs. I mean, that song Radio has like
millions of mixes, literally, like, and then
versions,
and like versions, and it's still,
millions,
and we still think we didn't get it right,
and we still didn't get it right.
And then Feeling With You was easier.
Actually, the easiest song out of all of ours was In Dreams.
In Dreams and
Feeling With You. Those two tracks, they were like within a matter of like a day. We basically got the whole bones of In Dreams together, and then it was a few sessions, but it was like there.
It's easy. It's always better when it's easy. I mean, not better. I don't know.
Not better, but it means that it's like right in our minds. Like Cosmic Kiss, you know, that last track, even though it's an instrumental, you know, we did it basically one day, and then had the guys from Zero Fate come in and like co-produce it, and really like, okay, change this. Let's you know, and that was a very fast track, and like we had maybe like one version other than the version that's out now, like where we're like, oh, we need to change this. Let's add this synth in more.
Basically, it was easy, definitely.
But that was it. And it was like super fast, and that was probably one of the productions we were most happy, because the other stuff was just sometimes it was a nightmare with vocals. The lyrics were easy enough. I mean, they were difficult at times, but actually was more so recording vocals and getting the right vocal mood
to make it sound
like
the way you want it to sound. It's not always, it's for some reason not as easy as you think.
Yeah, we're not good at doing that ourselves.
Anything
technical, we're bad.
We like
real bad,
because I start going crazy and he's going crazy because I'm going crazy. That's why we always need engineer.
Yeah,
an engineer is like a best friend.
Yeah,
he has to be always next to us because he's the one who'll be tweaking things, and so
we're just
that works.
You know, like we can have the ideas, we can something rough, but when it comes to like starting to cut things and like presets and or you know any little filters and this and that, like we're not, we know what sounds right. I don't know the name of this plugin or the name of that, like, and that drives us crazy. So, yeah.
Do you two ever make music completely out of your own genre that never gets released?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, like all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes we get, we get a request for a song for sync or something like that, and it'll be something totally different.
Yeah, and we usually have tons of ideas. Like just when you make music, it's just like they undeveloped lots of times. I would say it's when you write a lot, like not everything goes to the album, but also most of it never gets released. It's kind of like a normal thing, but it also helps you to find exactly where you're going and what you're doing.
Yeah.
If there was a piece of advice, and we're going to go, Cash, we're going to go you first, and Anna, you second. If there was a piece of advice that you could give to new and up-and-coming artists to watch out for when it comes to making their career successful, what would that be?
Look at your contracts. Like, find something ulterior, like, the biggest thing, like, I found, like, is because, like, as I mentioned before, I have a record label, and I did this from the get-go because I didn't want to, like, give up my publishing. I didn't want to do that. And now working with other artists, like, when I sign artists to my label, I don't take publishing. Like, as an artist, I understand that's your bread and butter, for your life. That's your work. You own it. Label should own it. So I would say, like, be very careful with contracts. I find the biggest fear most artists have is actually signing a contract, and people were, I don't know. I think that's my main thing. Be careful who you surround yourself with. Know how to smell bullshit and bullshit people. So I don't know. I think
Francesca,
and watch the ego.
Very practical. Yes, true. True. I would say just don't take yourself too seriously, like, and just understand in the first place why are you doing this, because it's really easy to be caught up in like a fantasy world when you see someone and you just want to, I don't know, attention, or you want the girls, or you want just the money, and then you could like see yourself chasing something that's not a made thing in the first place. And I can't like literally, me as an artist, I don't understand how you create anything good thinking about those things. It could be a good motivation, of course, but you only lie to yourself, because when you get it, you might not find happiness there anyways.
Very true.
So I would say definitely just really just be you and connect to, if this is who you are, that's wonderful, share with the world, because the world needs this, like people's soul needs good songs that will heal their souls, you know. But just do it for the right reason, if you truly love it and it's your thing. Yeah.
And Cash, you mentioned you own your own label.
Yeah.
Awesome. What's the name of that label?
Cash NYC Records.
Cash NYC Records. Question I ask, I'm glad you brought that up, because again, I love it when the guests almost are like reading my mind and they segue with something that goes right in my next question. Is what is the most important thing that record labels should do for their artists, and are they as a whole doing a good job with that? The reason I bring that up is because one of the things you mentioned was that you let the artists retain their publishing rights. And that is so huge, because I've interviewed a number of producers, DJs on the series, and a lot of them don't own the rights to their own tracks anymore. They can't. Friends will come to them and say, hey, can I use that track in my movie? Can I use it for this? And like, sorry, I don't own it anymore. Sony owns it, or Universal owns it, or there's 5 more companies that own it. And one of the things that I got into early 2020 was a lot of people, the discussion of copyright, and people not understanding when they got into the online streaming world, they didn't understand that in order to stream live or put a video on demand, you needed to have the synchronization and master use.
Yeah. Totally. And it's funny because that's a big deal with everything. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought.
No, I was going to ask what the most important things record labels should do for their artists. I love the fact that you said give them publishing rights.
Yeah.
But most labels don't do that. So what is the most important thing that record labels should do for their artists? And as a whole in the industry, do you see them doing a good job with that?
Well, I see like the old structure, the old way of, you know, record labels taking artists and finding these artists is kind of shot, because like as what I've been hearing lately is that, you know, a lot of labels will not be interested in like an upcoming artist. They want them to already have like 1 million streams, 1 million followers, 1 million views, 1 million this. And it's like, it's hard, like, because, you know, a lot of times independent artists, it's like, okay, we don't have money to do this. We don't understand what the whole structure is. Like, you can go sign up for CD Baby, TuneCore, this and that, which I'll tell you, my first album before I didn't have distribution yet. So I had to go for a few singles, go with like, I think TuneCore is one of them. And then finally, like, we figured out a distribution deal with 1RPM and now The Orchard. But back then I didn't know. And so when we took it down, there was still one track that ended up having some flag, because like we put up a lyric video on YouTube, and literally they were like, okay, you don't own the rights to this song, TuneCore does. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's crazy. So, you know, we had to obviously write them back and be like, you're crazy. I own everything for this song. This is my song. It's under my label, all this stuff. But people don't understand they think that when you sign up for those services, they don't really read the fine print. Those services end up kind of owning a chunk of your publishing, and like, you know, even for that time period. But and it makes things difficult. So you get flagged on YouTube, or like you can't, you know, even though it's on Spotify, like somebody can't do a remix without asking for permission, or it just, yeah, I'm not a fan of that stuff. Like at my label, we're trying to make this a very artist friendly label, and you know, we help them and distribute their music without them getting caught up in a trap of having to maybe buy back their publishing years later. Like a lot of artists have been doing, like over the last few years, buying their catalog back. I mean, it's pretty absurd. It's like also just not, I mean, now we heard the new thing with streaming. I guess they just signed some deal with that writers are getting like 15% of their publishing finally through Spotify, which before we were getting like 0.3. So
yeah, but also right now it's a new world. Right now,
yeah,
people don't need labels to become like famous. You know, they don't need. They can just go on TikTok and maybe like somehow like make the song streamed a million times,
go viral,
and,
yeah,
and they just go viral by themselves. That's why the structure, even that Francesco's label right now, that they like almost like manage you, and you own your publishing. They just make sure everything is registered correctly, and you like. Your music is out and everything is correct and right.
We try to sell it. We sync
like,
for sync
stuff. So this is like
stuff like that.
That's why now more labels start like doing these things. I mean,
yeah, there's
because it makes sense. Because before you couldn't break through without big label, but now you can.
Also, before you needed to actually go to a big recording studio, you needed tons of instruments. You needed all that stuff. But we have software
right now.
We could all do it all at home. You know, I mean,
yeah, like we did our album.
We did our album at home. I think we only went to like a few different studios, maybe to do vocals here and there. I mean, and maybe like we went to a studio just to get out of our house, you know, get out of our studio, get out of our own space. You know, we needed to go somewhere else just to change the energy for a sec, especially during COVID. So
what are both of your takes on NFTs and what they mean to the music community, or I should say artist community as a whole? I shouldn't say just music community, but arts community, music being under that umbrella.
Yeah. So it's interesting. We just did an NFT like with I think it's Gwyneth Paltrow's company. It's called Lady Ape or something like that. It's basically a take on the ape thing. I'm sorry, I'm bad. I don't remember all the information off this.
And also, yeah, I don't really understand it. Me too. We don't understand it.
I don't understand it. I had a friend approach me like 2 years ago about this, and I was like, well, how does that work? Because like I own my publishing, but then what, you're selling this NFT to somebody and they're the only one who gets to own that? Like I didn't really understand because is it like selling a license? Because I mean, when you buy a piece of art, you can own the art for your life until you sell it.
But if it's music, then
it's
like they own or they license it. Like this is like another thing. I don't even know how they still gonna do it. Maybe they're still trying to figure it out how it's gonna be.
Because I mean, what I see was even the thing we did was like basically a 1-year license with this NFT company. But I don't get it. Is it like whoever purchases that NFT, is it like them purchasing a song from iTunes? Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you understand? I don't understand.
The way I look at it is the basic form of like baseball cards.
Yeah.
And it's collectible.
Got it.
And so like, let's say you publish your a song off your album, but then you make a slight little different remix of that song, but you only make 1,000 of those or 500 of those.
Yeah.
And then those people that are your fans could then buy that NFT and own that. So when, let's say it sells for $1 and you're going to get, you get whatever your percentage is off the back end. So you got your money because they bought the song for $1.
Yeah.
But that's a collectible item now. And if they go and sell it for $2, you still get a kickback off of it selling again. And if your next fan sells it for $4, you get a kickback and it
Oh,
keeps
cool.
kicking back every time that goes through the system and
Oh,
sells.
cool.
You get a percentage of the sale for that selling, and that's where it could become, for musicians, like I said, you could release your radio play is your one that's on Spotify. Anyone can buy that, iTunes, everywhere.
Yeah.
But there's only 1,000 copies of this special NFT, which is a remix, which might be included in that a special forward or prologue, or again a remix of the track that fans could then buy on and hold on to as a collectible item, and hopefully as you grow in popularity those would grow in value, and then you still get a kickback as they circle around over and over again. Or you could release special album cover artwork, that are NFTs, and it's like I saw the first ones that came out really were more like, I think of it like stickers or bumper stickers or artwork that artists could say, hey, great. And then I own this one. And guess what? You know what? I don't like this anymore. I'm going to get this out of my catalog like a baseball card so I can trade it off. And then I'm going to go buy 5 more baseball cards.
Yeah.
And maybe those will increase or go in value. We're still trying to wrap our head around it over here. I just found a company that the guy I'm working with is how we take our interviews, like this interview. And then I could say, okay, guess what? And Cash, we're going to go ahead and you tie your crypto wallet into our NFTs of this interview. And then we say, hey, we've only made a limited amount of these interviews that people could own as a collectible item. If you're a fan of They Kiss, buy this. We get our kick, but you also get a slide kick of that too. And if the fan moves it on, we all keep getting a kick over and over and over again as in perpetuity. That money just goes right into our crypto wallets.
Okay.
So kind of like instead of giving you the bottle of wine or the bottle of wine or the flowers or the candy basket or the fruit basket at the end of the interview, we could say, here you go. We've made these 20 NFT interviews and we're going to attach your crypto wallet to this. That's how we see it using it. There was a kid the other day I was talking to Down Upright, and he is doing something very unique. He's not NFTing, but what he did is he's kickstarting these projects, and as like each one has a different. It blew me away how he's doing this, but it's like he'll take his project he's working on right now is 60 songs in 60 minutes, and as you buy in through the Kickstarter, you get to collaborate. Like $10 will go. $10 says you can make this genre. $20 does this, but $100 you get to collaborate on that 1 minute piece that goes into that 60-minute.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's raised his first project raised $25K. His second project raised $15K. They just went live with it last night, but it was an interesting way outside of that NFT route. But he's been exploring the NFT. It's a very interesting world right now. And how the NFT world is going to affect things. But I didn't know if you had taken a look at that or not, as part of being a label of launching an NFT artist or an NFT release or anything like that. So it's just a conversation, hot topic. I always kind of bring it up.
We're kind of getting into it. We just, as we said, we just did our first NFT. So that I think came out the same day as our album. Right? Or supposed to. I don't really know. But I guess we're gonna have to jump on that. Same as the metaverse. Same as
I'm sure it's coming.
Now you're really predicting my next question that I'm gonna ask. Because my next question, if I'm not asking NFTs, have you looked into virtual reality or doing anything in VR or metaverse?
I've been talking to friends about it. I actually just a few months ago met this guy who's actually like one of the metaverse architects, and super cool guy. I still don't understand it. I'm kind of getting it. I mean, I understand the theory of it. I don't understand why you would want to live. It would, let's just say it would have been perfect if it was like full blown out there during the pandemic. Like, I feel like that's when everybody would have actually jumped on the metaverse and they would have been living there. They would have been socializing and doing all that, creating. Right now, it's like, I don't know. I don't want to be at home. I don't want to I want to be out. I want to be with people. I want to enjoy. I want to enjoy live music that I'm not listening to in headphones. I'm like, I want to go see bands like with my physical eyes and not like a computer simulation.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Yes, I think at some point, it's cool. Like I have a friend who was talking about building a nightclub in the metaverse, like one of his New York nightclubs, which I mean, it's cool. And like Snoop Dogg is doing stuff there, which is, I trust them. It's definitely going to happen.
We look at it like this, and the top, kind of a progression of over 27 years of back in 95, we were kind of all introduced to the web.
Yeah.
We had dial up and we had the web. Even, it was dial up pretty much. And then obviously the technology got faster where we started getting cable internet, late 90s.
Yeah.
And then we started getting, everyone started getting a website. It was a big thing to get a .com. And then it got into social media with MySpace.
Yep.
And then went into 2007, 2008, 2009 with Facebook and the advent of the iPhone, of being able to have a mobile device, or even the iPod video, of being able to take video with you on the go again through podcasting. And then, getting into live streaming in 2007, I got into live streaming in 2009. And now we see all those instances where creating branding experiences for you online that people can find out information about you while you were asleep, or following you and what you were up to, kind of your online diary, online brand. Virtual reality, how we see it, and we do have 2 nightclubs in VR right now. That are in a soft launch right now. We're getting ready to grand open them here. Hopefully we can get them grand open before next month. It's like going on a kind of world tour kind of thing next month. But that being said, another branding experience. Instead of having a 2D version of our website, you can now have a 3D version of our website. You don't have to have a headset to look at it. You can go to it on a computer and walk through it in a 3D environment. But if you put on an Oculus and you're walking through our nightclub, you're now being able to walk through and go, oh, I'm going to watch that episode of They Kiss on the headset, and go click, and it pops up a browser right in front of me. I can walk around that nightclub. I can go sit down over here. I can have somebody walk up and say, hey, how you doing? How's it going? I'm like, I'm fine. What are you doing? I'm watching this interview with They Kiss right now. Oh, I want to click in and watch that too. Where are you at? I'm at minute 45. Oh, I'll go to minute 45 too. Boop. And they're now both watching in their own separate browsers, and meeting people or going to other places in VR. And that's just the next branding experience. Probably you're right, about 5 years out. I mean, for full adaption, we're talking Nintendo, Atari adaption.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe 3 to 5 years out, and then augmented reality also having that coming out. But we got Facebook creating Project Aria, I believe it is. You got Apple with the Google Eyeglass is what it's nicknamed. Coming out. Microsoft has something.
I mean,
Google has something. Sony has something. Microsoft's going to have something. Everyone's going to have something you're going to put on an augmented experience, because if you look at the future of things, TVs, flat screens, like we're on computer screens, those are going to go away. I'm going to have a little camera in my house, but I'm going to put on my glasses and we're going to be talking, but I'm going to see you on a screen that I can walk around or, that's going to be
about holograms
stuff. Holograms. That's actually, I'm working with a developer right now to do some really cool stuff in that realm. But that's like version 3 of what we're doing. We have a 10 to 15-year-old rollout on VR, AR, and XR, where that's going. But it's going to be some really, really awesome stuff. We're going to wrap it up here pretty quickly. Last few questions here. What do you two prefer to do when you're taking a break from making music? Make more music.
For me, it's easy right now because I'm a producer right now in the other, I don't know, world,
cinema and commercial work.
Like photos, magazines, and other stuff. So I'm still producing. And to be honest, if we're talking about break, I feel super uncomfortable when I have a day off, or if like now it was a Labor Day, I couldn't wait until this weekend will be over, because I have a hard time to relax, and I don't usually relax because it's just my thing. And for me, people not getting back to me or not getting back on emails.
She didn't understand. She's like, these people haven't written back. I'm like, you don't understand. This is literally one of the biggest holiday weekends.
No. I do understand. I'm just saying that I am uncomfortable when the world stops like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not a good person how to ask. I need to learn how to relax and how to have fun. It's definitely something that I need to learn how to do it. But Francesca,
Well, I mean, for me, it's very easy. I because I knew the way I used to work, when I would be flying and doing all these other gigs, I was so tired that I, was a kind of a waste of space and would be on the couch watching a movie or something like that. Even especially when we used to drink a lot more when I would work and travel and all that stuff, the hangovers were real. And, you know, being on the couch or laying in bed watching movies.
Yeah, but
So, I mean,
but also his way of loving movies, it's a different. It's not just like watching a movie. He loves movies.
I went to film school initially at NYU, and like my professor was like, "Hey, listen, we'd love to like sponsor you to get your master's and to become a professor here." Because they love the way I could like look and read film. So for me, it's like she doesn't really get it, but like no matter what, I'm analyzing like what I'm watching. Like I've like read, and I enjoy that a lot. So like for me, I can sit and watch like several movies in a row, like because I'm like kind of reading. It's like it's my reading. But I mean the thing is even without making music, I'm DJing. Also like all the time, like 4 times a week, private events. And then I just became musical director for Mr. Chow restaurants. So I'm programming all their music. So we've started with Beverly Hills Restaurant, and which is a very interesting experience.
So he's always in music.
I'm still, even if we're not making something, I'm putting it together, let's say, one way or another.
That's awesome. Yeah. How do you two envision your life 10 years from now?
Oh, well, hopefully we'll have a house with a pool.
Even better than today. Maybe 10 years. Oh my gosh, 10 years is a lot. I don't know. Like, listen, I also think that, I think definitely it's good to envision, but I also kind of like lately been thinking just to trust, because I'm very controlling person. I always trying to organize everything. And for me, it's good for me to let it go and trust just the universe and where my life leads to based on what I love to do and what I want to do. So for me, I think it's like everyone's different, but definitely in a much better, interesting place. I don't know. It's like, as long as I'm like happy inside, I'm okay with whatever. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I always just go with the flow. Like for some reasons, everything works out. Like I don't know. I've got good luck sometimes. So.
Yeah, during that time, we definitely want to be on tour. We definitely want to have experience of playing big stages, like big massive festivals.
Yeah, we'd love to play.
Yeah, we love
festivals.
Yeah, playing, and it's definitely fun for us and connect to other amazing musicians. That would be definitely, but. I want it to be not in 10 years. I want it to be like next year or this year.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to wait for that 10 years.
No, we would rather do it now.
Something super exciting, something that life can really show us how amazing just to be on earth and like create and love and just live.
And final question before the last two. And this, Anna, we'll go with you first and then Cash, you next. If Hollywood made a movie about your life, who would you pick as the main actor?
Anna doesn't have any idea of any actors' names.
Yeah, I know any names.
Zero.
But no, I would say if they make
Cash, you pick four because you're the film guy.
Yeah, you're the film guy.
Fuck.
But I would want to have some if they would do that, I would want to have some little blonde girl living like in the small town in Belarus.
You're from Belarus?
And like,
one of my best friends is from Belarus.
Oh my gosh, really? Yeah. So I would want someone too, because my childhood was crazy. It was a crazy experience, like just like it was like amazing, and so I want to like some of this, and then when I was studying, and then my journey when I came like to America and California and lived. I think it would be interesting movie. So we need to have three actors.
Oh.
When I'm a little, then in the mid age, and then later. Oh, maybe like two. Mid, like a small one, small baby one, and then I don't know, someone.
I don't know. I'm like trying to think.
What about this Annabelle?
Who? Which one?
She's not blonde. It's Marilyn. She's like Marilyn Monroe right now.
Oh yeah. What's her last? Ana de.
Something.
She's playing Marilyn in the next. She was in Knives Out.
I know Knives Out. I'm not sure.
Blonde wig on her, and so she can play. I'm okay if she could play me or someone else.
It is. Come on, it's like all over.
I know. Who's that? Dropout. That actress also could play me.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that also.
Ana de Armas.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ana de Armas,
and
then who was in The Dropout? Amanda Seyfried. Amanda Seyfried. Yeah.
Is Amanda?
Amanda Seyfried.
You can look. Did you watch that movie Dropout?
It was like a Hulu thing about the woman who invented or she basically scammed everybody.
Oh, you should watch it. It's fun.
It was about Elizabeth
But that wasn't
Holmes.
the lady from Seattle that scammed everybody from the banks, was it?
Oh no! She was in here.
Okay.
She was in California. She claimed she invented this new technology to test your blood within
That's right.
5 minutes.
That's
or
right.
something.
I know the
Yeah,
story, but
Elizabeth Holmes.
I never saw the movie. I haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah. Amanda Seyfried. I could see that.
Yeah.
She's like this mystical creature
Yeah.
with her eyes.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, you two, I got to wrap this up here. I just want to know, thank you so much for coming on the show. Is there anything else you want to let our DJ Sessions fans know before we let you go?
Have fun. Just have fun with it all.
Yeah, have fun and enjoy your life and love and be loved. And thank you so much for having us.
And where's the best where's the best place people can go to find out more information about you two?
Probably our Instagram. It's most up to date.
They.kiss.
Yes, they.kiss.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you two for coming on the DJ Sessions today. It was a pleasure talking with you.
So much.
Gonna listen to that album more and more and more. Feeling with You just came out on August 26th. Go check it out. It's on Spotify. It's probably on every platform you can get out there. It sounds like you kind of know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I love the fact you brought up CD Baby earlier. That takes me back so far when my friends first started releasing stuff
right?
back in like 2004, 2005, I think. Stuff on CD Baby.
Yep.
But thank you again for coming on the show. We definitely will be following up with you as we would like to do with all the guests that come on the show, at least every 6 months. Find out what you're up to, what's going on, and stay in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you very much
for having us.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. You're welcome.
Thank you.
On that note, don't forget to go to
Bye.
our website, thedjsessions.com. Find us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Meta. We're out there, but the best place to go is thedjsessions.com because right there we have over 600 news stories a month, live interviews, exclusive guest mixes. We have our own DJ mixes. You can also find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV coming soon, and Google Play. And check out our VR nightclubs on AltSpace. But all that information is at thedjsessions.com. Coming to you from the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington. I'm Darren, and that's Cash and Anna coming in from LA. They kiss for the virtual sessions. And remember, on the DJ sessions, the music never stops.